Secrets of the Millionaire Minds by Harv Eker. In Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth, Harv Eker outlines how to identify and revise your money blueprint to significantly increase your income and accumulate wealth. Using these principles, Eker personally moved from nothing to millionaire in 2.5 years. The idea is to combine your inner mind game, your toolbox, with your outer game, the tools, to get rich. In this Secrets of the Millionaire Mind summary, we'll give a synopsis of what's your money blueprint, how to reset your internal thermostat, change your programming, and outline the 17 wealth files by Eker. The ideas in this book are meant to be applied. Harv Eker invites you to really study the book, keep what works, and throw away what doesn't. For the principles to work, you need to be prepared to let go of old ways of thinking. You can consciously choose to release any belief, way of thinking, or being, and replace them with new ones. Top 20 insights. 1. If you want to move to a higher level of life, you have to be willing to let go of some of your old ways of thinking and being and adopt new ones. 2. Having top-of-the-line tools is imperative, but being a top-notch carpenter who masterfully uses those tools is even more critical. 3. A lack of money is never, ever, ever a problem. A lack of money is merely a symptom of what is going on underneath. 4. All the statements you heard about money when you were young remain in your subconscious mind as part of the blueprint that is running your financial life. 5. Money can't make you something you already are. 6. It's not what we don't know that prevents us from succeeding. It's what we know that just ain't so. That is our greatest obstacle. 7. Your programming leads to your thoughts. Your thoughts lead to your feelings. Your feelings lead to your actions. Your actions lead to your results. 8. There are 3 key elements of change, each of which is essential in reprogramming your financial blueprint. They are simple but profoundly powerful. 9. The first element of change is awareness. You can't change something unless you know it exists. 10. The second element of change is understanding. By understanding where your way of thinking originates, you can recognize that it has to come from outside you. 11. The third element of change is disassociation. Once you realize this way of thinking isn't you, you can separate yourself from it and choose in the present whether to keep it or let it go, based on who you are today and where you want to be tomorrow. You can observe this way of thinking and see it for what it is, a file of information that was stored in your mind a long, long time ago and may not hold any truth or value for you anymore. 12. Your financial blueprint consists primarily of the information or programming you received in the past, and especially as a young child. 13. What you hear, you forget. What you see, you remember. What you do, you understand. 14. The vast majority of people simply do not have the internal capacity to create and hold on to large amounts of money and the increased challenges that go with more money and success. That, my friends, is the primary reason they don't have much money. 15. The key to success is to raise your own energy. When you do, people will naturally be attracted to you, and when they show up, bill them. 16. No thought lives in your head, rent-free. 17. Everything you are not doing right now, you are in the habit of not doing. 18. Let me put it bluntly. Anyone who says money isn't important doesn't have any. 19. When your intention is to have enough to pay the bills, that's exactly how much you'll get. Just enough to pay the bills and not a dime more. 20. The purpose of our lives is to add value to the people of this generation. The things that are shaped by what our parents inform us about cash are our thinking models. Our intelligence is similar to a machine that can be programmed to carry out sequences of arithmetic or logical operations automatically at the place that the grand programs are set up in childhood. Models attached to us hinged upon first effects of us. Stuff people hear their parents say about money over and over while kids are indelibly stored in their brains and eventually form our opinions that determine the path thought by us of cash later in our lives. Words such as, the base of the entire wicked things is cash. Cash does not grow in flowers or woods. Plus, it cannot be bought with delightfulness by you, are placed in people's brains, while the cash plan and our thoughts about money are affected. Because our parents affect our attitudes, furthermore, in our salad days, two paths are just found to be into their opinions, whereof cash plus wealth. Either they might be associated and admitted by us, or they might be resisted and denied by us. Either cash and riches are valued in the exact range qua our families by us, or some stuff is wanted to be done in a completely distinct way by us. Nevertheless, resistance alone is not adequate for crashing your financial plan's mold. The reason for it is that human beings who resist are often guided by the false motivation to get riches. They don't desire to be wealthy. It is only desired by them to resist their stony broke parents or sense outstanding above them. The attitude discovered by them of their families is till now too overpowering that though it is hunkered down much effort plus made some money, if they didn't work well over their own selves plus broke the assimilated cash plan, they would likely lose it quickly. However, as those who discover cash makes everything probable during juvenile times are going to own 1-2 simpler hours earning cash, driving factor for actions for being liberty plus uncommitted via riches might too be filled with money. Chapter 2. It is our parents' revenue strategies that are reproduced unawares. Our internalized behavior for cash and wealth is based not only upon things heard by us from our families tell where of cash, however, in fact, upon a specially conditioned behavioral model. The path our families gain, the cash, plus the path we manage it. An effective answer to the problem is found by my mother. It is always done this way. Why it is important how you manage the money. It is no different from the reason that pasta is made by you, the path you handle it. Therefore, once your mom is asked by you for cash as a child and inquires your dad to ask, the opinion which the guy gets the responsibility of the finances, plus the girl cannot administer the money, leaves one effect inside of our brains. Either provided that our families, for instance, have experienced either second global battle or one financial crisis, the experimenting for the famine will affect our behavioral molds. And by us, it is always thought that the cash owned by us will never be adequate. Crucial to our initial paces during coming through cash are the experimentations had by us as youthful human beings, since we have deeply worked our families, attitudes, and protected them inside of our subliminal. Plus, once it is begun by us to make money as youthful grown-ups, unwittingly our parents' revenue patterns are copied by us. Eker presents his story as the best instance. Dad of Eker, who is one constructor, makes a fortune by buying plus vending homes over and over, but then he invests all of his profits in novel plans, plus every time goes bankrupt. Moreover, it was owned by Eker himself, who consistently imitated this roller coaster during his initial job ventures, out of comprehending the stem of his unsuccessful career. Humans are an alien of a routine, plus once we discover some stuff, it does not get simple to forget it. By us, it can be broken distant off opinion constructions of our families as follows. Only later, by realizing and deliberately before you change your path of thought, do a comprehensive inventory. Providing that the stage for well-being wanted by you is not reached by you, this is regularly related to external factors instead of an unconscious internal environment. However, it is never more so delayed for switching that. Admitting that you fall inside one model of thought and therefore cannot get rich is the initial step to becoming more financially successful. The following stuff needed by you for making after breaking this pattern is to understand where it came from. What routines plus models whereof behavior learned by us of our families, plus whatever impacts might they have. What are opinion models followed by your own via you? How much fortune have you been conditioned on making? What unconscious methods do we handle for holding our balance of account rise? Provide one survey whereof your schedule via typing what sort of your pacemakers deal with money issues, plus whichever your family's words are based on your brain, plus affect your behavior. Does hearing, "we cannot afford this," constantly make you trust you cannot afford anything? What can be particularly enlightening is analyzing your current finances, qua giving you an opinion of your conditioning. The quantity of cash in your account in the bank demonstrates how much cash you need to gain at that time, plus what is needed by you to spend or save more. What shows up that we unawares tend to win or lose is the achievement of either unsuccess of hedge firms. Once you learn how you are conditioned during self-check, discerning whereof owned by you, like the choice to embrace a different path, whereof comprehending plus switching yourself is all you have to do. That is, by either turning the key for the inside globe of you or replacing your opinions plus former opinion models come novel ones, crushing the mold with novel leading principles and novel actions. While it's excellent for being richer only via having their nose in a book, comprehending the theories back of fortune composing, either listening things required by you for doing distinctly for getting millions in commission, unluckily, this is insufficient. On our part, former information whereof cash inside of our frameworks must be overwritten. Also, novel information needs to be recorded. Our attitude towards cash was regularly voiced before us in our salad days. Provided that changing them is wanted by us, we must discover novel plus a cut above rules whereof cash plus wealth, plus get into the routine of syllabling these things to own selves as one divine word. Especially, this describes that once it is said by you that your attitudes out loud every evening, they will gradually instill themselves into your path about considering, plus start changing your millionaire path of considering from your traditional path of considering. Instances of memorable idioms become like, there is one millionaire's brain found inside of me, or thing that runs tough towards me is my cash plus it gains more. Sure, current folders found inside of your warehouse locker might just be resolved if you are performing aware action alterations. It might be simply really found out by you, provided that something novel is done by you for yourself. We, individuals, are beings about routine. Plus, anybody who desires to switch their relationship with money requires switching the routines. While doing this, by the writer of this book, the behavior pattern he received out of his dad was deliberately broken. A gym was established, and by him, even it wasn't given up before turning him into an achievement chain and gaining millions. Ourselves must be trained to behave correctly. For instance, imagine you are in one shopping center, plus one discounted handbag is seen by you. You are usually programmed to figure, take it, this is a bargain. However, at the moment, you should know about handling your fresh program. If you are on a loan, you shouldn't purchase anything else. When you continually verbally validate your thoughts and take concrete measures, by you, patterns of wrong thinking can be gradually figured out and be learned whereof behaving as one person who has millions. You must discover to take destiny into your own hands if you desire to be wealthy. If by you, it is desired to be a financial achievement, it must be internalized the opinion that you have authority on your economic self-vada. It is known by wealthy human beings that they're behind that roller coaster, upon which economically weak people always sit in the back seat and leave control of their revenue to others. The remarkable thing is, penniless, still human beings give half their wages upon sweepstake plug, expecting for being lucky and have a big time. On the other hand, by wealthy individuals, it isn't gambled or waiting for riches for dropping inside of the arms to be wealthy. People who often act like real victims are poor individuals, and the people blame everyone they can, be it the council of ministers, their employers, or the financial circumstance. However, nothing about your circumstance will switch until you discern the thing whereof the person who awards the scope of the economic accomplishment is you. If you can catch yourself blaming alternative ones or taking action whereof your financial distress, it should be always remembered that you are charged for your accomplishment and look toward the cause of your unsuccess. For dividing that way, you think similar to one sufferer. A list of bad transactions must be routinely compiled by you. Plus, it is analyzed what sort of risk you are at. I think I get Ruby toward the turn-on month inside of one sequence as I make a lot of spending. Am I right? Would it be smarter to do a little more analysis over the capital that the bank persuaded me to purchase and resulted in its depreciation? Instead of taking action, it must be concentrated by you on the dots at a place that variance might be made by you, plus something is done toward your well-being. After that, by you, the path to riches can be taken consciously. Chapter 6. People who should have a positive attitude towards cash are future millionaires. The notion that is common, not amongst the millionaires, but people without tools, is that virtue and wealth are incompatible. Cash must be loved too by you for being richer. It is poor people who often have negative opinions whereof riches. They fear that someone will just love them due to their cash, or worse, convert them into evil individuals. Besides, they fear wealth-related jobs and responsibilities that pose obstacles inside of a lot of fields. Anyone who just comprehends the restrictions restraining the way for fortune and feels they have failed is missing the chance for gaining cash. On the contrary, it is felt good by rich individuals about business occasions and possible profits. They are ready for taking calculated ventures, plus every time hopeful, which might be regained whereof their cash by them after losing. Large risks that equate to great returns are the benefit of appropriating dangerous cases. When you hopefully jump on occasions and put possible barriers on the cool scapular, your fortune will grow. Loving the rich is also significant if you desire for being richer. Negative emotions such as the poor's distrust of millionaires and jealousy abridge the people from achievement. Provided that rich individuals are belittled by you, you can never inherently get any of among the people. Plus, you will never desire to build relationships with wealthy people who can impute you worthy guidance about your financial accomplishment. And therefore, embracing one person who has millions, the path of considering defines further affirmative whereof cash. Providing that it is esteemed by you what you want yourself to have. At this rate, fortune, the possibility of getting it is higher by you. Providing that appreciating wealthy individuals is discovered by you and those people don't hate their own cash, the person who might be
Chapter
the
7.
and among them, when you
Is
give
you.
everything, getting rich can be accomplished by you. It is wealthy human beings who comprehend out of the very incipiency which target of them is prosperity, and thus a no-strings dependence for their well-being is developed by them. Only people who desire to be richer, however, set restrictions over what sort of they are eager for, either making or willing to sacrifice, remain poor. Only those who will get rich are human beings who are engaged in fortune and wager for their vita over this. For example, part of this commitment is to work tough 16 hours one whole date for one unlimited period and admit that you will own lower liberty. Among the significant components are flinging down the gauntlet own self, plus keeping going toward handling over own self. Fortune grows only if you shoot up, provided that it is desired by you to familiarize yourself with fortune strategies. It is certainly necessary to keep going to your studies, join seminars, and read books on capital investment and investment. The extra it is comprehended the cash's globe, the further more cash can be gained by you. After all, committing means starting either one job or going into one profitable industry, because of the tendency for owning any type of firm by wealthy individuals. While the luck factor also plays a role in the achievement of a job mold, providing that the initial stage hasn't been taken by you, preparing one job project, which will bring cash inside the next, your fortune won't make sense. Regardless of your position, starting to work with excitement and curiosity in the sector you desire to be is the best strategy. Provided that the aim of opening an eating house chain is owned by you, you will find out, the furthermore providing that the person who is working at the business of providing food service sector is you, and get figures from your business and executive. Provided that there are no innovative job opinions via you can skip to most of the others. In this situation, there is one person who has many millions, either further money, you require to make a deal with yourself and be completely committed to following. If being a millionaire is desired by you, achieve the stars. While millionaires are willing to have a lot of money, what everyone begs is only to have safe and adequate revenue. The cosmos is going to acquit those requests, since the riches measure you are considering withal performing. The equivalence becomes easy. Big thinking is what guides large movements that open the gateway for handling large bucks. What equates to a small revenue is small thinking. Problems are experienced by most human beings in providing one big measure labor-intensive toward one big marketplace. Those who desire to be wealthy should be asked how many individuals might be achieved by them, come whatever they do, either 20 or 20,000. Since the quantity of human beings, your addicum, your action is reflected in your revenue. It must be deliberately settled by you, whether it is desired by you for achieving thousands of people or the whole world. Services that are personally provided are objectionable in this case. For instance, if you are an expert masseur, it will be physically improbable to serve Y quantity of customers during 24 hours. Up to, it can be aimed by you for a solid revenue. However, future millionaires do not limit their revenue due to one restrictive element. Therefore, one fine opinion isn't found to get paid for the time you work. Due to wealthy individuals, plus those who desire to get rich, are paid not for time, but their results standard, there isn't any standard limit. They wouldn't desire to be masseurs, but eventually they desired to own one tether of rub-down atelier, plus become wealthy that way. Nevertheless, let's assume that you didn't find out to consider over one large measure. At that rate, it would make sense to surround you human beings who arrive at the headliners. To put it differently, providing that it is desired by you to wing falcons, don't float ducks. By accomplishing human beings, others aren't only infected with ambitious thoughts, but are shown what sort of taking the essential steps. Money can only be enhanced by you if managed accurately. Making large sums via cash gets one stuff, while not allowing it to slide between your toes, plus raise, is an alternative one. Very significant factors for reaching riches and prosperity include dispensing with money, disciplined, and handling money wisely. By many people, it is mistakenly thought that high revenue is the just thing that gets you to be wealthy. However, the correct path for measuring a human being's riches is their obvious value, i.e., the entire asset's money worth. The significant thing is the accumulation plus incomes of the hedge. By you, it should be strive to own insomuch net income as probable, plus fund the cash come the economic following times in mind. By individuals who have one survey plus make one seculum economical schedule, a great balance between revenue, outgoings, plus accumulation can be struck. The worth thing is to find yourself an esteemed economical schemer for assisting you in this process. It is also very significant to have a passive revenue, or the cash you gain from working, for instance, the return you get out of either fund or mutual funds. If by you, getting wealthy is desired, handling your cash inside of withholding the money down your bed should be begun. Whether it's an actual property, terrain, or one up-and-coming job notion, many paths are found to fund to grow your money fast. Divide your revenue across distinct accounts in the bank. Split one side half of your earnings toward overheads, plus place 10% of each dollar you gain inside of one account that is split to either fund hedges or another hedges come inactive revenue streams. Besides, 10% needs to be credited to one delight to account for something that might be done by you. Nice plus sense, similar to one person who has millions, such as going to a specialty eating house, plus indenting the extra pricier item inside the bill of fare. Possession is a piece of saving money. It is very significant to keep the expenditure cum vita at least. Provided that it is wasted by you, like your high-income buying pricey autos plus stylish dresses, you are never going to be wealthy. Individuals who will become millionaires are just human beings who consider seculum plus are eager to forego instant gratification. If by you, achievement and wealth is desired, you have to consider yourself very well. Their appreciation and conviction about being wealthy deserved by you are what distinguish wealthy individuals from less wealthy ones. By less wealthy human beings, they are often seen as worthless and do not give credence to themselves. It is continued by them to fail financially because they consider they do not value that, plus, frequently involuntarily, take a step back once that gets to the distribution of capital. Because wealthy individuals know whereof their worth, it is too understood what sort of promoting their own selves by them, their job opinion, or their firm. Chief heads are generally wealthy as they get furthermore inside those locations. However, being one manager is required on your part, finding followers that just labor, provided that you vend your opinions well. Many of those who fail are said to be rude to steal your pipe. But inside the globe of cash plus jobs, this behavior gets. Provided that my pipe isn't stolen by me, who will? The major reason why selfless human beings never get wealthy is that they refuse to advertise. For realizing the worth of you and then vending that toward different people, you are required to discover which place your skills are. Because of that, you might put them inside of either one service or output at the job of you and achieve too many. You must glance at the correct output, as this must become a thing you can 100% support. Well, Whatever might you get to sense as one person who has millions plus consider better about yourself? Soak up the mood of the wealthy and indulge yourself with something you've won. Head to a luxury sports center, either a court tennis center, or grab one mocha in the city's most pricey hotel. Due to everyone having choices whereof what sort of becoming wealthy desired by them, just people who rely on their own selves can convince different people to rely on them too.